What is up, everyone? So today, Spoon has officially finished the fab work on the Sonda. We dropped it off with the fully built engine with the new turbo and everything on it. He needed to connect the exhaust, ended up making a whole new exhaust and connect the intercooler piping, and it's officially done, and we have to go pick it up because Spoon is leaving in like 20 minutes. So he keeps trying to send me photos and stuff of it. I keep telling him not to show me. I want to see it for the first time in person. And I had like 3 friends go to a shop in the last like 24 hours, just like texting me about how crazy the car sounds and how crazy it looks. So the bar is set high and I'm ecstatic. So 2 Spoons. And Spoon's had the BRZ the last few days because he needed a car to drive. Looks good here. Look at that thing. So before, the biggest restriction on the entire car was the exhaust, right? Because we had a 2.5-inch exhaust. And that was my call because, well, the car's very low. There's no room for the exhaust because we use the exhaust tunnel as a tranny tunnel now, right? Yeah. So 2.5-inch exhaust was perfect for our old PAL level, but it wasn't gonna cut it this time. So Spoon told me to grow the hell up. And he decided to make a full 3-inch exhaust, add a muffler with the right manifold. This thing should sound really good. Spoon?
Jimmy.
You've been trying to show me this thing for the last...
I have been. He has not wanted to see it at all.
He keeps sending me pictures and stuff. I'm like, Spoon, no, stop.
So you can hear it, right?
It's idling, nice and quiet. Nice and quiet. Give us the juice. It sounds good. Hell yeah. It sounds good. And look at it, it's got the K-Tune muffler. It's fitting for a Honda. I love that. They'll never know. Look at it. It doesn't even look that tight in there.
You live here.
Oh, you rotated the turbo quite a bit, huh?
A little bit.
It smells like a popcorn making machine.
Yeah, it's just the new heat wrap. Yeah.
Doesn't look that tight until you get around the steering column.
How did you?
I'll bring the car.
Oh my God! No way. But dude, look how beautiful! Like the whole package now is absolutely gorgeous. There is like no cheap looking part to this engine bay anymore. It's what she always deserved. Damn, Spoon, I couldn't imagine a better fit in there. Check it out. So it's super tight, but it's like the room is used so efficiently. I'm impressed because I didn't see that visibly. You know what I mean? Like, nice work. But let's go up in the air so they can see the recirc because it is insane. This is truly a rebirth. Like, Masana rebirth. It is insane. What do you think, Sam?
You know what I think. It's great.
It's great.
You killed it.
Nice and quiet now.
Yeah.
It sounds so good.
It's a daily.
It is the daily now, huh?
I don't want to hear no excuses now. You're not driving it.
Just time's the only excuse. Dude, it looks like this engine. It looks like a magazine engine with the turbo, the manifold, like
all the red.
Like it's cool because like realistically, the KA, stock manifold, everything, it looks just like a normal KA, just like shined up a little bit. I know one of our limitations if you want to make big peak horsepower would be the intake manifold. So I left the stock one on because I really enjoy like that really hard hitting low end torque that the KA produces, which the manifold does help increase the long runner intake. I mean, the intake was definitely made for a truck. It's a torque promoting intake. So at the higher flow rates, it might get a little restrictive. So we can always move to a forward facing intake. But since I don't want to make a crazy amount of peak power, I'll trade some of that off for a more mid-range torque bands, right? Exactly. So I know I did get a lot of comments about that previously. So this was a thought. I think sometimes I think.
He thunk.
Dude, like it's so fancy.
Sounds sick.
So much turbo noise. So good. I can't believe this thing's in a, like, I'm so proud of this chassis and I'm now so proud of this engine that it's just like such a good combo. I gotta get a new front end for this thing because all the panels are destroyed. Maybe a carbon roof, drop it off the Spoon, get a fresh red paint job, and she is ready for SEMA.
We got some panels. Gunner Jim.
Put a smile on this guy's face.
Yeah, he's happy right now.
Well, you know, like, I'm usually used to being in complete control of like everything when it comes to a car build. And so like kind of handing something off to someone to complete a major section is always a little bit hard for me.
Yeah.
And so it's so sick when you show up and like your expectations are kind of just like blown out the freaking water. You know, and it's like the last piece of the puzzle too. So it's just like the best icing on the cake ever.
Yeah, yeah.
Like your mom went to that like special Italian bakery uptown, got that icing that you just
That special
icing. Dropped it on.
Mazzucatos.
Nailed it. All right, let's get this back to the shop. I mean, the engine's broken in.
Throw it on the dyno.
I think we get this thing on the dyno ASAP. This thing needs a wash so bad.
That's pretty good. Don't start that already. You're in, but it didn't sound so pleasant.
All right, we gotta jack this thing out, that's for sure. This is there's a lot of stuff crammed underneath this car. All right, so you guys are new here or forgot, what we have here is a KA24 out of an S14 240SX, right? Mm-hmm. Fully forged internals, piston rods, stock compression. Head has like stage 2 cams in it, valve springs, retainer, oversized valves, intake and exhaust, crazy ported head by JP, stock intake. The new Artec KA DET exhaust manifold, which is absolutely beautiful. That was like the one piece of the puzzle that just like the whole entire scene was lacking. So when that thing comes out, the KA world, don't sleep on it. Then we have the G30 660 and a full 3-inch exhaust, D-Works fuel system, Link ECU, Big Jim behind the computer, and I think that's it, and on E85. So besides that, that's all you need to know about it. So, well, time to see how this all performs together, right? So the previous setup worked. It made good power in the previous setup. It didn't do it efficiently, but it made that high peak power number. So I'm really excited to see how this all comes in, how it sounds, and all that good stuff. So last time we went on Derek's dyno, we figured out how to basically get my dyno settings to mimic his, so it has a very similar number to a mainline. So we're gonna go off of that. What it makes is what it makes. And now here's the thing, right? Engine, turbo, capable of 600, I would say, quite a bit. I think the rods are a limiting factor here. We're stock trans, and we're on a single disc clutch, which means we're probably limited to 500, 450 on the clutch. The trans will grenade anytime after 400. So
You're on borrowed time banging those gears.
yeah, it'll hold it, but you never know. We might slip the clutch today, we might blow the trans up, or we might run out of fuel. Who knows? We're gonna find out. So let's figure it out. All I care about is I just want this thing running good, being fun to drive. That's all that really matters. Peak horsepower number is cool, but I just want a good power band. 300 horsepower on this car will be actually very, very exciting. And we want a K that's not fucking hurt for once. So.
Yep.
Crazy.
That sounds nuts.
So good. Sounds good, feels good, everything's good. So the gate should be for 10 PSI. I guess let's just do our first pull, see what it does on 10 PSI, right? I'm nervous, but I'm excited. There's always that balance of like,
Well,
you know,
it's running.
fresh build. It's like you're so pumped, but you're also so nervous. It'll be good.
It should be fine.
Let's go get the boys. I feel like we need this moment with everyone. Come on, Tool.
Tool's in there.
That boy. Dyno dog.
Dyno dog.
There's gotta be a tuner out there that just has like a tuning dog.
If not, here it is.
Toolie the tuner.
So, Ant, The only thing I'm stressed out about is, remember the cam timing issue?
Yeah, this will show us.
If you guys watched the video where we assembled the engine, there was some iffy things going on with the cam timing, the mechanical timing. Perfect. And, well, if the mechanical cam timing is off, which there's a good possibility it might be, we're gonna see it. It sounds a little funky because you could hear when cam timing's off a little bit, or if it doesn't produce the power we're expecting, it's cam timing, and we'll have to swap the cams around.
It might just be the, what's it called? The heat wrap. Interesting.
Yeah, it felt really choked
Luggy.
up. Felt really choked up. It might be. It's red.
Oh, the timing's off.
Cam timing's off.
Super glow.
Yeah, we figured that was gonna happen.
I should have lifted. You could feel how dog that is.
Timing.
There's still a possibility that it's not cam timing because for some reason the ECU pulled out a bunch of ignition timing, which will cause the same thing. But let me figure out why it pulled a bunch of ignition timing and then do another pull and hope that the manifold isn't glowing. We just had a faulty sensor, but we are good to go. Hopefully this is enough. I'm not super confident. It'll help a lot, but it might not be the fix.
Manifold got hot.
It got hot. The curve looks a lot better, but
Made 350 that time. 350, 350.
look at Tool. He does not mind it.
Yeah,
he likes
you
it.
don't even know what's going on.
He's so funny. This car's not that loud. All right, so why'd that happen?
I think the lines pinched. The boost, the turbo lines.
The line's compressed.
There's not a kink anywhere.
Pink my intercooler lines. Is that what happened, Deej?
You got the power steering hooked up in blood?
Yep.
All right, it can't be that.
Yeah.
Not good.
Got red too.
Let's just reshoot base timing just in case. If you're ever questioning ignition timing, just reshoot base timing.
All right.
Easy peasy. Let's get that going. So idling, ignition timing is fine. So hopefully it floats when we rev it up. And can you slowly rev it up? Nah, it's fine. I think we gotta switch the cams around.
This is.
I hope Jeff uses that.
I'm not 100% convinced it's still mechanical cam timing because the crazy amount of inconsistencies in the pulls, but at least if we fix this, we'll know 100% that it's not the cam timing, right?
Yep.
Looks beautiful in there though, doesn't it?
Oh yeah.
At TDC, there is markings on the cams. You look right here, see those little dots, T-Bone?
Mm-hmm.
So we could not get the dots to line correctly with anything. And so instead of going off of the dots, we kind of went off of the cam lobe position with references to the actual cam gears. Just basically made a smart decision on where to put the cams.
Yep.
The reason why we did that is because this cam is labeled intake and this cam is labeled exhaust. We wanted to put them on the intake side and on the exhaust side. But the thing with KAs is the cams will bolt into any side of the engine. So though this is marked as an intake cam, the dowel for the gear is doweled for an exhaust position. If that makes sense.
Opposite side.
Opposite side. So that's why we couldn't use the marks. We had to kind of make an educated guess. So if we swap the cams, though this is written intake cam on it, and this is written exhaust cam, the cam gears will line up. The timing will line up, which
factory.
The cams are probably the exact same profile. The factory who produced these cams just did us dirty. We're just gonna swap them. and hope that that's what's causing all our issues.
Damn. Look how clean it is inside.
Like we just assembled it or
satisfying.
something. We put this on and like we were looking at it, I was like, I'm gonna have to do this. I'm gonna regret it. We regretted it.
Future Jim.
I really fucked Future Jim here. One tensioner. Get that out of here.
So as you can see, look, marked.
Exhaust?
Exhaust.
Says intake. We got played. We got played.
Trying to do the right thing.
We were trying to do the right thing. And I was like, do I trust the written marks or the dowels? Trust the damn dowels. So the cam gear, same on both sides, right?
Same.
This dowel position is what varies between exhaust and intake. So this is what is switched up. Crazy, huh?
So we just switch the cams and then the gears line up.
Theoretically.
Factory spec.
Theoretically. Big moment. Take this cam, and then take this cam. Put that cam there.
Put that cam.
Boom.
There.
That's it.
Such a pain in the ass.
So we lined it up with the marking on there. Don't move. See this discolored gear right there?
Yep.
Hopefully that lines up with that, right? Almost already does, which is really good news. Perfect. See that?
Mm-hmm.
Clicked right in.
Same for the other side.
Love that. And then this side, the dowel is just slightly off. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take it and rotate it till it clicks right into the dowel.
Yeah, seen it. I felt it. I ain't gonna hit it.
So here's the thing, right? If you go off a low position, it looks identical to how we had it before.
Yep.
I'm still not convinced it was cam timing. I mean, if you look at it, right? If you go off a pure cam position at TDC, exact same position.
Yep. Go back in the video when we first took the back cover off.
You would never know. You would never know. Pain in the
Let's
asshole.
retorque everything.
At least the timing marks line up now.
The next day.
All right, it's running, it sounds good. Now to find out if it does any difference. So visibly the cam placement looks the same, but hey, if it's off by 10 degrees, it's kind of hard to notice and it will actually do a lot. So hopefully it fixes everything. If not, then we have another hardware issue. What'd you get?
A bunch of parts.
T-Bone got dirt bike parts?
Yeah.
Been waiting on those, huh?
A long time.
Catch T-Bone in traffic. Alright, well, what do I make for a torque? I made, holy shit. Let me hold on here, let me get those other ones off the board here. We still got a crazy curve, right? We got this crazy dip at 3,000, which we had before. The torque comes in super hard at 4 grand, which is kind of crazy. See, it spikes in and then it kind of just falls off. Usually when you start seeing crazy power curves, you start seeing crazy boost curves, right? Because it's not uncommon for boost to be all over the place if things aren't hooked up correctly, but looking at our log, the boost is extremely stable. That time we actually hit limiter before it wouldn't even let us really hit limiter, which is crazy. It was like almost like valve, it almost sounded like it was like valve floating at like 6,500 RPM before. So we see the benefits there. Now the big issue is why the hell do we have this crazy big torque drop at 3 grand? Why does it fall off so hard? I was doing the runs in 5th gear just to give us a longer run time because I know this thing was gonna make good power, but it sounds like the car kind of hates it.
Yeah.
So I use pretty aggressive dyno settings since this thing is supposed to make a pretty high peak power. Now we did it in 5th gear, so I'm hoping that the dyno was potentially just overloading the car a little too much. So we're gonna try in 4th, which should make it a little bit smoother.
That sounded way better.
Said it made the power number that I expect to see. Is the manifold red?
No.
It's not red?
No.
So 400 horsepower, 434 foot-pounds of torque.
Yep.
It falls off quite a bit harder than I expected to right here. It looks like such a KA power band. Like such a truck-ass motor power band.
Solve the torque.
15, 16 PSI. Which is, that's what I expect, 410.
Yep.
For that, that makes about sense, so. Made less power that time.
Same thing, 4th gear.
Same thing. Why is this being so inconsistent? That's crazy. Well, so the curve is the same shape, right? Check it out, right? The next curve. So the curve is the same shape, which is good, right? Same flow dynamics here. What we saw and what we'd expect to see is, for some reason, it made way less boost, which makes sense, right? Why it made way less power. So it made about 5 psi less, which makes sense why it made 100 less horsepower. Why did it make 5 psi less?
Why?
Well, I don't know. I don't know. The boost control is not is off, so our wastegate is not being consistent. I love that for us. So either our boost controller is doing some shit on us, or it's the wastegate. All right, so we did a bunch of pulls, basically tried to test every component of the boost control system, and what comes down to it is the wastegate itself, right? We bypassed everything and it's still having that issue, so we're gonna let this thing cool down, probably pull the gate off, which kind of sucks, and just verify everything on that is good. We look at the curve is consistent every pull, which is good to see. The only difference is the power level itself, because the boost is changing, right? It falls off a lot harder than I would expect it to, like we were talking about. And now the real question is, what's restricting the flow, right? Because it comes in hard and it hits, and with, you know, all the headwork that it has, and with the exhaust system and turbo and everything, I wouldn't expect it to fall off that hard. Maybe if we were on stock cams. So I'm trying to think of any restriction in the system itself. Usually when you see something fall off like that, it's usually more of a back pressure issue than anything. But I don't see at this power level why we'd have a back pressure issue with any of our exhaust side. Only thing I can think about is maybe our intercooler is choking it up a little bit, but it still has extremely consistent boost, so it doesn't really make that much sense. So we just pulled the wastegate off, and which is surprisingly not as bad as you would think. Whatever. So there's 2 ports on the Turbo Smart ones, right? On each side. Boom, boom. A water and a boost. Water and a boost. So this side, water's on the left, boost on the right. This side, boost is on the left, water's on the right. It was in the water side. So it basically had an open boost port. The weird thing was how inconsistently consistent the boost was. So if you have a Turbo Smart gate, look for the symbol. Yeah, they're not, it's not a symmetrical gate, okay?
These are the problems that happen to regular people, and then they just keep it in their car forever, and they're like, I don't know why it doesn't work.
And then they sell their car because it doesn't work right, and then, yeah. We've all been there.
It's coming. We're coming.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Tony. Happy birthday to you.
Make a wish, make a wish. Oh yeah.
You see what it says on it?
Don't touch Tone.
Rule number 1.
Happy birthday, Aunt.
Happy birthday,
Happy
bud.
birthday.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
He's finally 18.
Get yourself a steak and a Betty. Maybe you'll get those braces off before your 25th birthday.
He's gonna have beautiful teeth.
Oh my god.
He's gonna look like he has veneers once those things are off.
We're hoping.
Definitely gonna have the best teeth in here.
Best teeth in Oak's garage. Alright, someone cut that cake. I want a slice.
Triple chocolate.
You ready for our first consistent pull?
Let's see
Hopefully.
some shit.
Let's see some shit. Our gate should be around 10 psi, so.
Yep.
Should make a 10 psi pull. And then the dyno crashes. Today is not my day.
That's so stupid.
What are the odds? Whatever.
Here we go.
Now the damn thing is only making 4 psi. Made 200 horsepower. It made 244 foot-pounds of torque at 4 psi.
Maybe it does have a small spring in it.
Maybe it does. It should have a 10-pound spring in the damn thing.
No, but I mean, how much boost were you making before you plugged the damn port?
Yeah, I know. But still, drives me mad.
Hey, guess what's coming back off before the end of the dyno section? The damn gate. You're gonna be changing springs. Because at this point, you're only gonna be able to make what, 11 psi?
We're gonna find out.
That might be enough. 11, a fully built motor. Let's fucking make 11 pounds. Sick.
It's
fuck.
What'd you do? Did you max it out?
No, it's gonna boost up. See what it does.
Alright. What kind of duty cycle are we looking at here?
We're gonna find out how much. We're gonna see how much boost we can make with this spring. We might have to put a bigger one in. Boost, that was about 15 psi.
Wow.
So we have a G3660, and it's not like the laggiest thing in the world, but it's not like the fastest spooling thing in the world. So we make full boost at about 4,500 RPM. It's not really a high revving engine, so it's a little laggier than I'd want it to be. I'd be very curious what a G25 660 would do.
That's the biggest G25 they make.
Yeah, and technically, like, we don't have to change much to throw one on.
No.
So like, a
it's
part of
the
me
same.
wants to, it's just the hot side and stuff will all fit the same. So I don't want to put a G25 on this just like out of
Curiosity.
curiosity. But the only thing that's an issue is you gotta be careful with back pressure, right? This would be a great
I mean,
pump
if
gas
that-
turbo
if
for
the-
this
if
engine.
the-
Like if you were stuck on pump gas, like this would be a good pump gas turbo.
Yep.
Damn boost being so inconsistent. Alright, so the boost is being super funky, and realistically, if it did have a 4-pound gate in it like it's acting like it does, we wouldn't really technically be able to make more than 10 psi on a 3-port boost control like we have, right? So what that believes me to think, since we're just jumping around way too much, I feel like I'm trying to like not rush this, but just try and just make this happen today. My brain is in way too many places right now, so we're gonna do what we should do and do another boost leak test, because what this tells me is there's a big ass boost leak somewhere. There better be a big ass hole somewhere. That's all I'm saying. Yep. Okay. That's not the biggest hole though. Like this thing's acting as if like there's a finger-sized hole in a coupler. All right, I'm a little heartbroken. This thing doesn't have a huge boost leak. It's really hoping for it. All right, so I'm having a really hard time controlling boost. It's just being so inconsistent no matter what I do. I checked everything in terms of electronics, commandment. We checked the wastegate itself. The only thing we haven't changed at this point is the boost controller. The only thing that concerns me is it's a 10-pound gate. Every once in a while it'll make less than 10 pounds, which it shouldn't because that's a mechanical 10 pounds, you know what I mean? A part of me wants to pull the gate and triple verify the spring, and a part of me also wants to just change the boost controller. Let's just change the boost controller first and then we'll pull the gate, okay? All right, so like every boost controller is a Mac valve, right? But the hard part is there's so many fake ones out there that it's really hard to really tell the difference these days. So this one is a Link branded one, which I know is a true Mac valve, so we're gonna throw this one on. And if this doesn't help, then we gotta take apart the wastegate and make sure everything's fine. So when it comes to boost control, there's a lot of things that could affect your boost, right? Ignition timing, mechanical cam timing, boost leaks, everything we checked before. So it's basically been like us stacking issues on top of each other, just kind of driving us nuts. So new boost controller is in, all the lines are tight, everything's good. Computer died, can't find my charger, way too tired. 2 pulls, and if they're consistent, if they're not,
.386, 380, or 386, 390.
good, that's what we should see. All right, let's do 2 more pulls, and if it's spot on, then we're good. If it's not, on to the next issue. Well, made 469 horsepower that time.
Which means even more boost.
Even more boost. All right, well, boost is all over the place. What have we checked? Literally everything at this point. So, like I said before, there's a lot of things that could affect boost, right? The fact that it's getting so affected so inconsistently is quite crazy, and the fact that it's swinging so dramatically is quite crazy, right? We'll go anywhere from 250 horsepower to 460 horsepower, which means it's probably a difference of about literally 10 psi, which is crazy. Which, if it comes to like mechanical timing, cam timing, all that stuff like that, it wouldn't be that. It wouldn't be all over the place like that. So the gate is doing, it's got to be the gate. The gate's the only thing that will affect boost that dramatically. As far as that goes, we have ran out of time. We actually have to go film this week's podcast. I'm exhausted, but the engine sounds great. It has a lot of pulls on it. This thing's officially broken in. It's not smoking, it's not making any weird noises. We gave it a proper shakedown, right? There was a couple things it needed and we got it fixed. So once we could figure out this boost control issue, we're golden, because clutch is holding up to big horsepower. Everything sounds super healthy.
The engine sounds great.
The engine sounds great. The car sounds
doesn't
great.
smoke.
It doesn't smoke, finally. Everything is great. So I'm not going to say today wasn't a big success, because I would say it was a good success. It's a shakedown, right?
Yeah.
A lot of aftermarket components, a lot of custom stuff, and this is just part of it. It's going to be something stupid. It always is. The problem is when you have two small issues stacking on top of each other, it makes the diag go crazy, right? And so we did what we can, and we're in the right direction, and we learned a lot. So I'm going to shut up because I need water and I need a nap, but we're going to go film this week's podcast. If you guys want to go check it out, it'll be out when this video is out, and our Patreon, link below. So, but for now, I'm going to consider today a win, not a total victory.
Nope.
But not a loss. So you guys know the deal. Like, comment, subscribe. Stay tuned for more content. We'll see you guys very shortly.